gotta think they're maybe racist just because I'm human, they don't want my help. It seems it doesn't really matter if your superpowers fire to the melt.
Hello, welcome to Jon and Lou Comics. It is John Scott and myself, Lou Gonzalez, here tonight. We may have somebody else pop in. Just going to do like a quick show, kind of news stories, and then I guess kind of a little bit of breakdown of like WandaVision and the Snyder cut trailer.
Yes.
But like news-wise, not like crazy anything news this week. We were just talking about like, which is I think is interesting, this Chip Zdarsky kind of doing a retelling of the Fantastic Four life story.
So what Chip Zdarsky did is that he wrote, and this is back in, I think it was 2018. This is like ironic I'm saying this because I'm not the biggest comics guy here, but there's one called Spider-Man Life Story, which is basically Spider-Man's life told from the 60s to today and like all the different eras. And it's genuinely fantastic. It's like one of the best comics I've ever read. Zdarsky's taking that concept and applying it to the Fantastic Four, which I think will be very interesting, and I'm really excited considering how much I love the life story. That's like one of my favorite Spider-Man books of all time. And then, so, I don't know, I'm kind of hoping they're kind of going to show, I don't know how he'll write the Fantastic Four and Richards and everything, so that'll be kind of interesting on my end.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted by a news story. I guess they're doing because they're still doing, what is it called at DC? The Future State?
Yeah.
And one of them is going to be, like in the Batwoman Catwoman, it's going to be Helena, like the Huntress, Helena Kyle. And people are like, what the fuck is up with this costume? I will show you an image.
Okay.
Because it's basically like a full body suit, except that she has like gloves and like a chest piece on. And people are like, why doesn't she have pants?
What is this? I have questions. I have several questions, actually. I don't know how I'm like torn between no and I don't know how I feel about this.
Well, I think it's supposed to be like some of the Bat costume on the Catwoman costume is the concept.
Oh, no.
So it's supposed to be like the purple, kind of old school purple Catwoman with like a Bat chest plate on it.
But it's Huntress.
Yeah, it's an alternate future version of their child.
Oh, okay.
So it's not Bertinelli Huntress, it's
Kyle Huntress, okay.
Yeah, it's Helena Kyle.
I have not kept up with Future State. I haven't caught up with Future State since it started.
I haven't read any of it. Yeah, like,
I want to read the Batman story, the one that John Ridley wrote.
Yeah, I'm putting in like the black and white image looks a little less I think it's like the coloring kind of hurts it in a way. It like makes it look weirder. But yeah, there's a lot of comments about it. And then a lot of people referencing, which Siler hates, is that other new Batgirl costume of how it's like skin tight.
Oh.
So, like, you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So it'll be, I'm like, Future State has kind of also given me the opportunity to not read a lot of DC books. So it'll be interesting to see what I go back to because a lot of stuff's been gone. Like I definitely am going to check it out. The future, whatever it's called, stuff. But like I don't know how many of the books I'm going to go back to.
Yeah.
The only Future State one I'm reading because I had already been reading it is the Green Lantern one. The Sojourner. I can't remember what her character. I think it's Sojourner, right? Because it's like Joe. The Far Sector, and I really like that book a lot. Because I've been mostly reading like old stuff. Like I've read from Utopia, and I'm in the middle of AVX.
Okay. Oh, so you're like really reading some of the older stuff.
Yeah, and so far, I don't fucking get what everybody's problem with Cyclops was.
I wouldn't be the one to answer. I feel like Siler or someone else would be better answering that than me.
I feel like also a hot take is that like I don't think I'm a fan of John Romita Jr.'s art.
Oh, okay.
Because his art is popping up in a lot of stuff, and I'm not so sure I'm a fan of it. This is interesting. With the TV stuff, apparently CW is working on a Naomi pilot. She's a character that came out a couple years ago when they did that younger kids line.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, she's the one.
Speaking of CW, they canceled the Wonder Girl pilot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's not moving forward now.
I wonder if this is a side replacement or if like it impeded with stuff that they may want to do with her. Now
Not
that
sure. I'm looking right now. Nope, it doesn't say why.
yeah, that's even newer than this article about Naomi because it still says like, oh, this isn't the only like female superhero color that they're working on.
Yeah, Ava DuVernay is working on Naomi, and get ready for the live-action gritty reboot of the Powerpuff Girls because that's getting one too.
Oh, there's gonna be a live-action Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, but it's like all of them is like disillusioned 20-year-olds who are mad their childhoods were taken away from them because they were fighting crime the whole time.
If it's like tongue-in-cheek, I can get behind that.
It's
like,
Diablo Cody. Diablo Cody is like writing the pilot, and I don't know if she's like helping executive produce or help showrun, but she's involved.
Oh, there's like a bunch of stuff. That Green Arrow show is apparently dead.
Yeah,
the
spinoff. That I'm telling you, I feel like Superman and Lois is going to move away from this. They're going to try to sever as much of the Arrowverse as they can.
Which is kind of sad because like I really liked that version of Huntress and like the Black Siren Canary character.
Oh, I did too, but I'm definitely going to admit right now, I feel like they should have ended everything with Crisis. Crisis felt like an ending.
Oh, for sure. And like, yeah, Supergirl is ending and
Black Lightning's ending. Legends is probably going to be on the chopping block next.
Yeah, especially if Dominic Purcell is leaving, yeah, after the next season. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with those shows, especially like with the existence of HBO Max. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
If they do a Green Lantern show with Diggle, I could see it more on Max than I could on CW.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is like if they do anything, I feel like they would start moving stuff to Max because it's like they own CW. Like CW is CBS, I think.
No, CW
or it's like a joint. I think it's a joint owned by Warner Brothers.
It was because it's WB and UPN merged.
Yeah, because I can tell you, I watched the first new episode of Batwoman.
Oh, how is it?
Look, like I don't like the actress is fine, like she's good. I don't understand why it's this new character, and the reasoning behind it all is so fucking dumb.
I do know the reasoning.
It's literally she finds the costume in a plane crash. And we don't know if Kate is dead or alive, which she's probably alive. And they're sort of side pulling from this other thing that was like a Batwoman story from like 6 or 7 years, maybe like 5 years ago. And it's just like, it's goofy and they're still keeping Alice around.
Oh.
And like because she was the best part of the show. But like, why the new Batwoman wants to go after Alice makes sense. Why Alice gives a shit about anything else now is stupid. And they also kind of ruined a major Batman plot in the first episode, like story thing, and then just like, all right, it's done now. Like a huge plot thing.
See, the problem I had, and I think I was trying to keep up with Batwoman because it's like DC. I'm going to try to keep up with it, and it's Arrowverse. I don't think it interests me as much as like the other shows did.
Yeah, I see. The thing is, like, there are things about it that could be interesting.
It's very meandering. That's the word I'm looking for.
It is definitely meandering, and I think when it did its best stuff is when it leaned into who the character was, like really heavily, like being like Kate being openly gay and all the stuff that they were doing socially, especially with like having Lucas deal with the fact that he's Luke's son. Luke is Lucas's son, Lucas Fox's son, Lucius Fox's son. Luke is Lucius Fox's son. And that he has to live up to his father thing, which they've killed off his dad. He's not alive in the show. And like kind of dealing with that and being like a smart black man in America, like and dealing with that aspect is interesting. And
that sounds all interesting. It's just a problem when it focuses on so much of the soap opera elements.
Yeah, it's like it's doing like bad Arrow stuff and not as much of the good Arrow stuff they should have been doing.
That's actually a really good way to describe it, is that it's doing bad Arrow stuff that's not interesting as a whole show. And I'll be honest, I am a little surprised that it is renewed for season 3 already.
I wonder how long that'll last.
I also wonder how long that'll last.
I wonder what the ratings are like. I wonder what, because the thing is, like, all the ratings are weird because everything's been off. Because Flash doesn't come back for what, like 3 more weeks, maybe more, like a month. I think a month, right? Middle of March.
Yeah, March.
Yeah, and I think that's Legends.
I have not.
Yeah, I've kind of like forgotten about these shows and like kind of don't care as much. It's been the problem of this long break.
So to clarify, the ratings were for the finale of Batwoman were 0.74 million. The ratings for episode 1 were 0.66.
Yeah.
So it went down, and so I don't know. I don't know how long that will last.
Yeah, and it's weird because it literally has no lead in. None of the other shows of anything are on. It's the first one.
Yeah.
Like nothing else is on. I'm gonna guess the Superman show is gonna have like a good
healthy showing. They're doing a 2-hour premiere.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with Stargirl because like they just moved that show to CW for season. I feel like it's going to retain the same cinematic quality it had in season 1. Yeah, which is what it seems like.
Superman and Lois was shot in widescreen, which is pretty big for them.
I'm wondering if like those shows get like first on CW and then like later on they get popped up on HBO Max.
I think it's supposed to be whatever new shows like starting with the 2019 to 2020 season. So like Batwoman season 1 would count in this case. Whatever new shows there are, they're going to go to HBO Max instead of Netflix.
Batwoman is already on HBO Max.
Yeah, which is stupid because now I have to go to 2 streaming services for fucking crisis if I want to watch it again.
I think the other thing that's hurting all this is, was there any other news stories we wanted to talk about?
Do we want to talk about Joss Whedon?
Joss Whedon sucks, and it's like now like mega confirmed. Like
it's now absolutely confirmed that Joss Whedon is.
Charisma Carpenter came out, and Michelle Trachtenberg backed her up.
Michelle Gellar backed her up.
Sarah Michelle Gellar was a little bit more like PR backed her up, where Michelle Trachtenberg like was like, "Fuck yeah, this is what happened."
I'm wondering if any Avenger stuff's going to come out.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if like stuff from his other shows. Well, we already know one other show has already like been a thing, the Dollhouse one. But it'll be interesting to see if the other shows and see. Because, like, there are other big... Yeah, Firefly is the one I was thinking about, like, and none of the male stars from anything have said anything, like, which I can understand the ones on Firefly if nothing's coming out about that, but, like, Borealis being quiet is interesting.
Borean's being quiet, Tudyk being quiet, Fillion being quiet.
Seth Green, I haven't heard him. Has he said anything?
He has not. I don't... Also, Allison Hannigan hasn't said anything either.
That's true. So it'll be interesting to see. It is kind of like those 3 people have like the least to lose because like Charisma Carpenter's career is what it is now. Michelle Trachtenberg, I think, is like kind of retired, and so is Sarah Michelle Gellar, I believe.
Sarah Michelle Gellar still does stuff. Like I think she's just not as big.
Voiceover stuff.
Yeah, because she did Rebels.
Isn't she doing?
Still working.
Isn't Sarah Michelle Gellar doing a voice for something Kevin Smith is doing?
Yes, she is in the He-Man show, I believe.
Yeah, I think she's playing... Is she playing Evelyn?
I'm checking right now. Give me one.
No, she's playing the good one, Tila.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's mostly doing voiceover stuff.
Which, by the way, I think they announced... Kevin Smith announced who the composer was and what the main, like, the transformation theme sounds like. So it's Bear McCreary doing the score... But holy shit, the score sounds fucking cool.
Oh shit, I have not looked at this cast in a while, and holy shit, this cast is crazy.
You got to hear Chris Wood say the whole like by the power of Grayskull bit.
Yeah, you know who is actually Evelyn? Lena Headey.
Oh my fuck! I'm looking at this cast right now.
Yeah, and Mark Hamill is Mark Hamill's Skeletor, and Kevin Conroy is Merman. Man at Arms is Liam Cunningham, which you would remember him as
Jason Mewes is Stinkor.
Which is perfect. What do you call it? Liam Cunningham is what's his name from Game of Thrones? The guy who's like missing fingers.
Fish guy.
Yeah. Who's awesome.
Davos,
yeah, Sir Davos. Yeah, Dietrich Bader is Trapjaw.
Stephen Root is Battle Cat. If you don't
Yeah,
know who Stephen Root is, that's crazy.
Yeah, Justin Long is Roboto. Henry Rollins is Triclops.
Tony Todd is Scareglow.
Alicia Silverstone is in it too. She's playing
Queen
Queen
Marlena.
Marlena is like the one that's like in Castle Grayskull, I think, right?
Yeah, Dietrich Bader is King Randor, and he's Trapjaw.
Who's
what a
he?
cast!
Oh,
who's he, man?
Chris Wood.
Monel.
Oh, it's Monel. Yes, I forgot about that.
That's what I'm saying.
This is fucking crazy.
Kevin Smith released like the whole like transformation theme, like by the power of Grayskull, and in that transformation theme, you get to hear Chris Wood, Monel, say, "By the power of Grayskull, I have the power."
I have to look that up now.
It's Kevin Smith reacting to it, and it's dope.
Yeah, so we got on a weird tangent, and yeah, I'm looking at Trachtenberg. Yeah, she's doing. She hasn't done anything in a couple of years, and she's mostly done, I don't know, this TV series and then like Robot Chicken stuff. But she's mostly not done a bunch. I think she also got like super typecast.
Yeah, Charisma Carpenter is just kind of doing whatever, TV wise and movie wise.
Well, she was on like season 2 of Lucifer in like a one-off role. Maybe season 2 or 3, I don't remember.
I'm surprised she doesn't go the route of like, Hallmark movies or something.
I think she's too. I don't want to say it because it's bad. Like,
yeah, she's kind of going through a lot.
Well, I think her look isn't what would be considered like Christian wholesome, which is what the Hallmark Channel kind of goes for. Like, she's not blonde and she doesn't look Southern. Like, Hallmark Channel goes for like Southern blonde white women. Who's like a big Hallmark Channel person? Like
Candace Cameron Bure.
Well, yeah, and she's literally like mega Christian woman.
Yeah. So
like, yeah, that's what they go for. Like, she's.
I forgot Lacey Chabert is in these movies too.
So I'm trying to think. So let's transition toward. I want to say let's talk about the Snyder trailer first because it's less to talk about. I feel like. We're like on two sides of the fence. I would say like I'm not like
we are on opposite sides of the coin on this one. Yeah,
I think the coin for me is more like I have like very little enthusiasm for this. I think that the 4-hour thing really hurts. The trailer was interesting. I'll go through the things I liked and didn't like of it. But my excitement level is not like. I think it's like the time. It's 4 hours. I am also not a big fan of Snyder's body of work in general.
Fair.
And I am also not a fan of that, I don't know what you call it, like motif, like style, like both the color palette and like the grimdark stuff. I'm just like kind of done with it. Because like there's ways to be adult and serious without being dark and gritty in that way. And we're seeing it on another TV show right now that's really fucking dark, but it's also very colorful.
What show?
WandaVision. WandaVision's like really fucking dark.
Yeah. I think
like otherwise, like I don't know, like there are interesting things. I think I would not be surprised if the nightmare scene is like a good half hour of the film.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Which is fine. Like that was the most interesting part of that movie to me. Steppenwolf doesn't look better, really. He
sounds better.
Okay.
That voice is way deeper than the last time, considering I just watched Justice League. I literally have been on a DCEU kick. I've been watching Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Justice League, Birds of Prey, because those are the ones I didn't remember as much.
Yeah, I have not watched Birds of Prey or Suicide Squad. I will watch them before this comes out.
Also, I'm going to say in advance for you for Suicide Squad, I'm sorry.
I watched those X-Men movies, so...
Birds of Prey has grown on me. Batman v Superman, the director's cut, has really grown on me. Like that, I like that movie a lot more now. And I think that's because I realize it's part 2 of a trilogy that's getting completed. And Justice League still sucks. The theatrical cut of Justice League is still a piece of shit.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm like not a huge fan of them. I think
I only dislike 2 of... now, because I like Batman v Superman, I only dislike 1 of Snyder's movies, and that's Sucker Punch. Everything else he's done, I like.
Yes, well, Sucker Punch is terrible. I don't like Man of Steel. Like, at all. I hate Man of Steel.
I only dislike 1 part of Man of Steel.
Oh, I fucking hate the Man.
And it's the part we always joke about.
Yes. I just his Superman is not Superman to me. Like it's almost the antithesis of Superman.
That's fine. It felt like so different for me, and I was kind of okay with that. It felt like a little like Earth 1 Superman, which I was okay with. So like Earth Superman, Earth 1, that kind of story. And I think for me, the big reason why I'm personally so excited by this movie is just that it's mainly for one, I'm curious, and two, it's just the idea that someone's getting their vision, like something that they made that's their thing, that their fully realized vision out to the masses. And I feel like regardless of how you feel about that person's body of work, that's something cool to be excited about.
Okay. Like, I guess I'm not there because I don't like his body of work, so I don't care about him getting to finish this product, which I don't think is a good product. Like, I get that it's not what we got. So the thing is, like, in my mind, I don't think his version of a theatrical cut would have been that much different.
No, what I'm saying though,
could very easily pick out the Whedon stuff in there. So what
I'm saying though is just like it's regardless of how you feel. Like, okay, let's say if like Michael Bay has like a director's cut of something come out, and it's like, all right, I don't like Michael Bay that much, but I'd still watch it because it's like that's cool that someone's getting their whole vision out there to the open.
I guess I don't know. It's also someone who's like writing. I find what he puts in his writing is like very gross, and what he's done with some stories is very gross. So like I'm just like that's where I'm at with Snyder. So like I know the whole situation behind everything that went down, and it really sucks. But I don't know. This seems like I will watch it for like the curiosity of what a boondoggle this whole thing has been.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's just like what the hell is this movie?
Yeah. So let's see. The things that we saw. So we saw a newer version of Steppenwolf. He still looks like a CGI mess, but now he has like destroyer armor on, which is fine. He's shinier. I still just think
I think the armor looks better, and I think I'm actually gonna get that trailer up right now while I'm talking.
Yeah.
And I feel like the other big thing about the armor is that my problem, and this is coming from someone who just watched the theatrical cut, what it looked like just looked so fucking bad.
Oh, it felt unfinished, and I guess it feels finished now, but like it still looks terrible to me. Like I think it's like the same problem I have with Cyborg's design. Like I don't like the design. So whatever you do to clean it up,
the god is dead, and you see Superman's like yells throughout the universe, like the shockwaves of everything of this, like those circular rings is just Superman yelling.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's when he wakes up. I do like seeing the black suit a lot.
I will say, I'm pretty sure this score. Yeah, it's confirmed. I like the score. I think Junkie XL is the one doing the trailer music in the background, and it sounds fucking good.
The music sounds good. It's cool to see the stuff that was cut from Flash and Cyborg, which as much as I don't like the designs of those characters, like those characters got like shafted so hard, and those actors and everyone they cast, like they weren't even in the movie.
Got like pretty shafted pretty hard for that movie.
Yeah. So like that stuff is goofy. I think Darkseid's design is fine. I feel like the problem I have, and it's always going to be the problem, when you have two Jack Kirby characters coming to like live action, is that there's too much similarity in things, and then what doesn't look similar in like Apocalypse and stuff doesn't look good to me. It's like their translation of making stuff look different is less interesting.
I will say I am going to be curious if the actor who plays Darkseid, because he did it through motion capture, I will be curious to see if he comes back. I guess because Ava DuVernay still got that New Gods movie coming out.
Yeah. Okay. Do they? I thought they were doing like a TV show or something now with it.
Oh, were they? I don't know. I saw.
I think that thing was. I thought that was dead.
No, she came out last year and said like, yeah, the pandemic's been helping because I've been able to like write and explore the movie more. And she mentioned Scott Snyder as an influence too.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Apparently, I guess Zack Snyder came out on the only social media site that he's on, Vero, and pretty much he showed like some kind of. Cause I guess he's working on a black and white version of this movie too, and there's a part where Steppenwolf is fighting the Amazons, and it's it's definitely going to earn its R rating. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and that's like another thing that like that I don't care about the R rating. I forgot Tom King got added as a writer for New Gods.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, so maybe I think that was the last thing that popped up, and that was like a year ago. So
Yeah, she
it'll
had
be
something.
interesting.
I am excited to see the whole Flash scene where he rescues Iris from the car.
Yeah, and like that definitely shows like more of why they chose Ezra. Like you could actually get his personality.
Yeah, and then there's the big scene where I guess Cyborg's touching something and you see like Flash briefly behind him. I wonder if that's like the scene in Batman v Superman where Flash goes back in time to warn Bruce.
Oh, that could be.
Like going through this bit by bit, slowly. I'm getting to.
Does nobody have like a screenshot of the new trailer of Darkseid? All I'm seeing stuff is from like that old one where he like has the weird sword thing.
Oh no, that definitely exists. Give me 1 second. But if so, hey, you want to talk about the other big reveal at the end of this trailer? Because we live in a society there, Lou. We
like,
certainly live in a society.
He looks better. It makes sense. It makes sense to like play on if this is an alternate. It depends. It's like, if this is Bruce getting a vision of an alternate universe, which is something that like that there's I think they've always talked about like that's what they were playing with because whatever, like the multiverse, then it's like there have been good guy Jokers, and like in that world, like there literally was just like a fun Batman book that I really liked. Who the hell did it? The Last Night on Earth. That like Batman was running around with a Joker, and Joker was basically his Robin.
Okay.
But Joker was also a head in a jar for most of that.
But hang on, I'm uploading. There's a shot of Darkseid now. But
yeah, okay, he looks a lot better than he did in that initial trailer, and I'm guessing that other character. So the one,
I'm guessing the one who was raising the hammer is the dude on the left here, like behind him on his. So
the one with the cloak is probably Tpzp, and the one on the right is probably Granny Goodness.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing she's in there because I can't. There's another. I can't remember what the other Darkseid person is.
But going back on Joker, I will say the voice sounds better and the looks better.
Oh, it was a Scott Snyder book, Batman Last Night on Earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have that saved in my Hoopla somewhere.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And yeah, because it's like Batman walking around. It's like Mad Max Batman, but like he has a Joker's head in a jar. So and they've had other things. So like, it's like, and I'm fine with the look, and like it makes sense. Like if this is an alternate world, this is an alternate Joker that we're seeing. This is this universe, and this is the possibility of our Earth. It's just like it's very Days of Future Past X, like S, that they're playing with in this movie that they were always playing with that scene.
Yeah.
So like I don't mind that. And again, like I don't mind this design of Darkseid. I wish he was a little thicker. And I think the lack of I'll say this. I think one of the things is they, in order to differentiate themselves, and again, it's the color palette thing, they are only using dark tones. So it's like his dark, like gray skin, and then like a dark blue or black clothing. And I would have preferred if they gave him like gold embellishments, kind of.
Fair. I mean, I do wonder because this movie is almost also a month out from release, so it kind of wonder like if they're still working on it up until the last kind of thing.
Like I'm gonna share like this is like a fan did like Photoshop, and I think this looks better, like design wise.
Yeah,
just like that. Just that little bit of gold on there just makes those like edges pop.
Yeah.
And I think they took the thing from the other picture that came out before that was way less done when he's holding like that hammer thing. But like his head looks fine. I like the costume. I think the problem is like Tpzp looks too much like what was that like dumb character that they made up for Avengers?
Oh,
the one that talked to Thanos. The other
Ebony Maw?
No, the one that was called like. Well, he kind of does look like.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. The one who like gets his like hand chopped off in Infinity War by a Cap or something.
Yeah, he's called like the Other or something like that. He's like a made-up character for the movie. He looks basically like that, and it's like, and again, it's like they're choosing and it's the problem I have with Steppenwolf is like they're going for what I think is the more boring like super alien versions of Darkseid's characters, except for what looks like Granny Goodness. Where like they should have gone with like the more humanoid looking ones to differentiate themselves. Like, because old school Desaad was like literally just like an old creepy dude in a purple cloak.
Okay.
I like kind of think of like the Emperor, like Emperor Palpatine, but you could see his entire face.
Oh, okay.
I'll find like a picture of him. But like, and he's been in the cartoons and stuff, and like he just looks like a creepy alien dude. Like he doesn't look like that alien.
I was gonna say, going back on that Joker and Batman thing. Apparently, according to Snyder, Snyder talked with Jim Lee to publishing a tie-in comic about that Batman and Joker.
Okay.
Don't know if it's coming or not, but
well, it'll come out in 2 years.
Yeah, and it'll be like 3 issues, but each issue is going to be super inconsistent.
But yeah, so I'm looking at your stuff. They're going with like a mid-2000s Desaad, where he's like this weird monster thing, which I think is less interesting than him just being like a dude. Like, and again, like old school Steppenwolf, which again, like Steppenwolf is the least interesting of those guys. Because yeah, what they basically did is like there's a Steppenwolf. They took like the design of Steppenwolf in armor and just made that armor his body. Because like I think this is the design they're basing off of.
Coming right.
But he's just a dude. He's just like a big. The problem is like he's kind of, and it still is, too much like Ares.
Yeah. He also looks like Zeus a bit from like the bits you saw him in Wonder Woman and Justice League theatrical cut.
Yeah, and like instead of making him human, he's like an alien.
Just saying, you could have easily gotten Gerard Butler for that.
Yeah, which would have been more interesting. And like that's where like old school, like, and I know like some of like the real old Kirby stuff is like wonky, but like it's like less interesting making him like this weird alien than like a human, like a true kind of just like human, more human looking figure. Like he looks like a goddamn like Predator or something now with this like giant headpiece.
Yeah, whereas Granny Goodness looks like, well, Granny fucking Goodness.
And again, it's like, well, they're gonna fight a giant CGI monster. So even if like this did go forward, so then the next one they're gonna fight an even bigger CGI monster guy. Like it's the problem with the heightening issue.
Well, we don't know if there's gonna be a next one, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, like if there was, man, like I'm looking at like old pictures and new pictures. He does look significantly better, but I still think it's not a good design. Like they didn't start at a good place because it's the problem of like you're like taking the work, and it's the most famous work of one of the most famous artists in comics that the other people already started to play with, and like instead of like they wanted to differentiate, and what they differentiated was like color palette and not design aesthetic as much.
Yeah,
because like the problem I have, it looks very Transformers and Michael Bay to me still, and
that's what Ava DuVernay I think is going to do with her movie. I think she said she wanted to try to get the designs of Kirby onto film, which will be very difficult to do, I think.
I don't know. I think there's like ways to do it. Like
the only one I feel like it came close is like Ragnarok, maybe.
Oh, there's definitely stuff in Ragnarok, and like there's a lot of the Thanos and Thor stuff that is like very Kirby-esque. Like the I think which Thor has like it's super gold, that Asgard's like super golden. So the first one?
No, that was probably like silverish almost. Maybe it's the third one. I'll be honest, I don't remember Thor 1 and 2 because
it's the first one. Like Asgard is very Kirby-esque. Like it's very gold, it's very shiny, and then it becomes more like Lord of the Rings-ish each movie. So I believe that's Asgard in Thor 1. That's when it's like, oh, it's all science, and they're like super rich and stuff. And then by the time you get to like, I don't even remember which one is. By the time you get to like Ragnarok, it looks completely different. Yeah, like here's a picture from the first one. Like this like screams Kirby to me, of like Odin's throne room.
Okay. Oh yeah, definitely that. I could absolutely
and like
see that.
and there's ways to do that, and it's like, well, it's also like Kirby has some very specific colors, and there's circles everywhere. And like again, it's like I really hope that this movie is good. I will sit there and I will try my best to watch it. It'll probably take me 2 days. I will try my best to watch it in one sitting. And I don't know. It's just hard because like there's things that are like, do I look forward to 4 hours of a Snyder cut or the last 3 hours of WandaVision more?
What a transition. Good job.
Yeah. Like, what do you like? Even like, if you're excited, which are you like more hyped about right now?
Honestly, it's hard to tell because I'm a fan. I like both.
Because like, man, what they are doing with WandaVision, this is where like I
Like,
get
it's like I just want a good superhero content, and I'm not sure where I would stand on that. So,
because yeah, and like I don't like it's
yeah,
not about
hard to say which one, to be honest with you.
yeah, because it's like yes, they're like WandaVision's like crazy colorful, but like I said before, it's like it is super dark. Like especially where we're getting at now, it's like it is
Dark.
real
Like,
heavy. It is fucking crazy.
Like, good God.
Yeah, and it's like I think what they're doing is insane. And anybody who's just like, oh, Marvel is like everything is so like cookie cutter, it's like, this isn't cookie cutter at all.
This is not cookie cutter. This is holy shit. She might have killed an entire town, or she literally dug up a corpse to animate a corpse. What the fuck?
I don't know. 2 corpses. I don't know. The show is goddamn crazy, and there's so much there's so much we don't know, and there's 3 episodes left. There are 3 hours though, which is
there's so much
awesome.
Goddamn shit that could be possibly happening, and there's so many things to theorize on that it's insane.
There's so many people I'm kind of leaning Mephisto right now. A lot of people are Blackheart, which is Mephisto adjacent. People are still on the Agatha Harkness train. I'm not really on that. That like is manipulating her. I do think she's being manipulated somehow because there's gaps. A lot of people are also like, who is the person Monica is talking about contacting? And a lot of people are Doctor Strange. I don't think it's Doctor Strange. I think it's going to be a new character.
I'm also not 100% on board the Mephisto train.
Yeah, he's just so connected to those kids is the whole thing. And like magic in general, and he would be a really fun big bad to have. So I don't know. That show is crazy. I think one of the smallest things especially the last episode, is like that they showed is like what this world, because we really haven't seen it. We got like very tiny, very kid-friendly piece of it in Far From Home, the post-blip world, and also what happened during the blip. And it's dark, and it makes sense why people are like, fuck superheroes, like fuck these powers, look what they did to the world.
Yeah, and also Hayward, is that his name? Hayward?
Yeah, Hayward.
Fuck that dude.
Yeah, I think he's like lawful evil. Like,
yeah,
he's shitty, but he's also kind of right. Like, you would be if you lived in that world and what happened where half of everybody on Earth and in the universe, but you like that doesn't make as much of a deal to you, like disappeared. And it's not even it's like life. So that means half of all animals, I assume, too, just are gone, and like the chaos. And it's like, do you know what we had to hold together to like still keep the world together? So it makes sense to me. And I also think it's like it's a really interesting place where they can build, because we've kind of been seeing, based on casting and stuff, that we're building towards a Young Avengers team. It's an interesting place to see of maybe and that could tie into Falcon, Winter Soldier, a Dark Avengers-esque team.
Okay.
Like the government sponsored. In the comics, it was like when Norman Osborn took over and turned S.H.I.E.L.D. into Hammer, and he became Iron Patriot. Like, he built his own Avengers team. So instead of Thor, he had Ares. Instead of he was like the Iron Man person. They had their own Captain Marvel. Bullseye was Hawkeye. Daken was Wolverine. I'm trying to think who else was on the team. McGargan, like the Scorpion, as Venom, was Spider-Man. They like figured out a way to give him more control of the symbiote. I'm trying to remember who else is on that team.
I also like the whole idea that if those kids are real, which I don't know if they are, Maybe they'll join Young Avengers. I just like to, we're starting to maybe possibly.
Oh yeah, because they are a big young, especially Billy is a big Young Avengers character, and he's currently a big character in the comics because he's married to Hulkling, who's another Young Avengers character, and is very prominent, important character to the Skrull and the Scree. Oh my god, the Kree and the Skrull, because he's the child of Captain Marvel and the Skrull princess, which they can obviously flip it in some way here. And also he's like one of the biggest openly gay characters in comics, especially Marvel Comics side. So yeah, like there's a lot of craziness happening in that show, and I'm excited that I have no idea what the hell's happening.
Oh yeah, I'm excited that I have not a single clue where it's gonna go. Like, it just kind of boggles my mind that it's just like, it's been so consistent week after week of how good it is.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this all goes.
And then afterwards, we have like a week off, and then we get Falcon and Winter Soldier right after.
Yeah, I know. And that show looks fucking awesome.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
And then when that's done, probably Black Widow. Who knows how they figured out?
Well, did you hear that Feige...
Yeah, they're still doing...
Yeah, Feige's been insistent on a theatrical release, but it's kind of not up to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then because not only do we get Black Widow, I think we get Loki in the same month.
Yeah, they're all three are like, because this show was supposed to come out. No, Falcon Winter Soldier was supposed to come out like October or something, right?
No, that's August of last year. August of last year.
Yeah, that's the one that got bumped really far back. WandaVision's like kind of where it was supposed to be.
WandaVision, I think was supposed to be in December.
Okay, and Doctor Strange was supposed to be in January or February.
It was either that or it was Eternals. No, Eternals was
Doctor
November.
Strange must have been April or something, like the first one.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's kind of like, it's so confusing as to like what happened.
Yeah, well, like it's mostly like we're talking about if you're listening, like because this show directly ties into Doctor Strange, which is directly tying into Spider-Man 3, apparently. And then Falcon Winter Soldier is supposed to tie into, or / the other way. Black Widow is supposed to maybe tie into Falcon Winter Soldier.
Well, if the way they're going, I think Falcon Winter Soldier is dropping first, so...
Yeah, but there might be somebody who... There might be something is implied in Falcon Winter Soldier that we see where it came from.
Yeah,
in Black Widow.
Rhodey is also confirmed to be in Falcon and Winter Soldier,
which makes sense.
That does. It gets all the military guys from the MCU in one show. I'm looking at all the stuff that Marvel has coming out for Disney. They have a lot besides WandaVision, Falcon, Loki.
Because we basically didn't get anything this year.
Yeah, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Guardians Holiday Special, Secret Invasion, Ironheart, Armor Wars, and the Wakanda series that Ryan Coogler was announced to be helping out with.
They signed like a giant deal with Coogler to do like a ton of stuff, which who knows what, because like the only things that are filmed are the 3 shows that are already filmed, and What If is a cartoon.
Miss Marvel, I think, was about to start filming, and Hawkeye's filming right now too.
Oh yeah, Hawkeye is filming and will be done, and I think Miss Marvel's starting soon.
Miss Marvel started on November 4th of last year, so they started already.
Yeah, and then I don't know if any of the films have actually gone back to filming.
Moon Knight is supposed to start in March in Budapest.
Okay, well I think that's a show. And
you're talking about the movies.
Yeah, like I don't remember. Did Doctor Strange ever start filming?
I think it did.
Did Shang-Chi definitely got put on suspended? Because I don't remember hearing. We haven't gotten any info or trailers or pictures of Shang-Chi or Doctor Strange. And those were 2 of the movies set up because they got pushed back.
Doctor Strange is coming out in March of next year, so that's not going to get anything for a while.
They got pushed back a full year.
Eternals, Spider-Man, and...
I keep forgetting about Eternals, too.
Shang-Chi is coming out in this year.
Yeah, I think Eternals is shot already. Because that's the one that has, like, we know everybody that's in it. They did, like, a whole presentation of everyone. And like they already did costumes and everything. We haven't seen anything from Doctor Strange or Shang-Chi. I think they haven't. If they have, like, they haven't shown anything.
Shang-Chi's done filming, I think.
Yeah, then they just haven't released anything about it whatsoever.
Yeah, Shang-Chi filming wrapped in October of last year. And then Eternals,
I
I think
all we have is like what the name of the movie is and the cast. It's Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, and that's all we have. We don't have any photos.
Yeah, Eternals, same thing though. We don't have any photos, just cast, and that's it.
I think there's concept art at least.
There's concept art. Okay, fair.
Yeah, of like everybody in their costumes.
Speaking of Eternals, I'm very excited to check out the director. Her recent film, Nomadland, with Frances McDormand, is supposed to be very fucking good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, which also, that's another very Kirby thing, is Eternals. Eternals is like his leftovers from the New Gods.
But yeah, so we're going to have to see what the hell happens. I don't know if theaters will be open by near the end of the year. I'm probably thinking not. I'm thinking not.
I don't think by the summer, maybe by fall.
Fall, but even then, that's stretching it.
It depends on the vaccine stuff, but like summer, I think is crazy. So I would suspect all this stuff will get probably the $30 thing on Disney Plus. So
you'll get all the Disney Plus stuff first before you get the theatrical stuff, unless they just do the whole premiere access, whatever. But I feel like they're not going to do that.
Yeah, it depends. Like I don't know. I feel like Black Widow's going to be the test, and if it's going to go to theater, I think they'll do the premiere thing.
Yeah,
because they're trying it. Don't they have another movie with their other animated movies doing the premiere? Right, the Dragon one,
Raya and the Last Dragon.
Yeah, that's doing the premiere, and I wonder, like, I wonder how that, if that, depending on how that does, will probably determine a lot for Black Widow. Because if that does well, then they're like, oh, maybe Mulan just wasn't the right movie for it. And I still wonder what the Mulan numbers are for people who bought that. So I don't know a person that did.
I don't know either.
Yeah, so that kind of wraps up like pretty much everything. Is there anything you're reading that you want to talk about? I already said I'm reading like mostly like really old X-Men stuff right now.
The only thing I'm reading. Oh, hang on. By the way, I have those numbers for you. Well, I'm gonna go. Let me finish reading. I'm reading Avatar: The Rise of Kyoshi novel because I'm such a huge fan of the show, and I knew these books, two books that exist about Avatar Kyoshi before and how she became like the Avatar that's known in the show. So I'm quite excited. I mean, it's really good so far, and it's nice diving into the backstory. And it is not for kids. Like, there's heads rolling, there's blood, limbs getting hacked off. I'm like, boy, this ain't for kids. And I'm okay with it.
Yeah, well, everyone always says that it's like the only, like, it's basically American anime, right?
Yeah, but there was definitely like, yeah, they didn't talk down to kids and they had adult themes for kids, but they were never like, explicit, like, blood and everything in this show.
That's what you're allowed to get away with when you're like
when you write a book.
Yeah.
But going off what I was saying before, so there's 9 million US Disney Plus subscribers purchased a film between September 4th and the 12th, which is about 25% of US Disney Plus subscribers.
Wow, that's still more than I thought. And it's like, it was $30?
Yeah.
So that's like, hold on, I need to do math because I can't do it using a calculator. So it made $270 million on Disney Plus for them, just on the US side.
Yeah.
That's they probably made their money back at best. Maybe.
Yeah, if they're doing it again.
That was a real expensive movie, right?
Oh, yeah. According to this data, this is from Yahoo Finance. They're citing data from 7 Park Data. 9 million US Disney Plus subscribers purchased a film between September 4th and the 12th, which is about 25% of the US Disney Plus subscribers. According to this data, this could have brought in $261 million from the US markets alone.
I'm trying to see how much they're saying Mulan cost to make, because it's got to be like a
Mulan was like 200. Mulan was like, I think, a solid 200 million.
Yeah, let's see.
It's not that good either. Yeah, $200 million.
Yeah, and they're saying it made 70 in the theaters.
Yeah.
So it made like 320. They probably didn't make that. They probably like just barely made their money back if they did. So
yeah, if this was a normal year, I guarantee you it wouldn't have made its money back.
Well, it wasn't made for the US either, too. So I also don't I don't even know if I know anybody that's even seen it. I haven't seen it. I have Disney Plus.
I've seen it, and I'll tell you what, it's not good.
Well, they took out all the fun stuff.
It's not even that they took out all the fun stuff. I'm fine if you want to get like little more in line with like what the original story was, the original legends.
I feel like if I want to watch like a Chinese war movie, like there are better ones.
That came out around the filming. It also didn't help that there was like controversy around the movie and everything. So like,
oh yeah, well, because they filmed in like where they have people in literal camps. So yeah, is there anything else you were reading?
No, just that right now. I'm not reading any comics at the moment. I've been diving into like a lot of the books I've been having sit on my shelf for like forever, and I've been wanting to read through Hoopla. Yeah,
I'm still reading a ton of X stuff, like all the new X-Men stuff. The Sword book, which is interesting that it came out. Issue 3 is interesting, and it's currently everything is tied into this King in Black thing, where it's like the return of the Venom God guy.
Okay.
For that story.
Thank you for reminding me. Speaking of Venom, Chip Zdarsky, like we mentioned before about Fantastic Four, he's also writing a What If Spider-Man story about what if Spider-Man kept the black suit. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The main book I would say, besides like X-Men, I think X-Force is like the best book of like those books that's going out, and what they've implied in because they have like an overarching thing that they're working on.
Okay.
Of like this villain that showed up a couple of times. There was like an original story with like Domino, and now they're moving on to like it's like one of these like pro-human groups has been like grafting mutant DNA to get their abilities into like bioengineered soldiers.
Oh, really?
And so the first person they did it to was Domino, and it like was screwing up her luck powers because it was changing the probability of everything too much. Like they were all getting shorted out. And so the new one, I won't spoil, is like there's another character that's been a member of X-Force and who has died a lot. And it's like, why has he been dying so much? Maybe he's being targeted specifically whenever they show up because they're collecting pieces of him to get DNA to use his powers. And he's very, very powerful. But yeah, and I've been reading through all this like old stuff, Utopia, Schism, or Genesis, I can't remember the Messiah one, all like the Hope Summer stuff. Yeah, I think I'm like at issue 4 or 5 of AVX. The Phoenix just landed. So it's interesting. I don't know, like I think for these specific characters, I'm not a fan of John Romita Jr.'s art on them. Like I usually like him, like I've read stuff where he's done like Batman or Superman and it works, but some of these characters, because they're younger, and a lot of the female characters, I just don't like his design work on. It feels like very, like late, not 90s, but like it feels like kind of an old to me in a weird way. That's not as fun. Like, I don't know, like I can read like 80s and 70s stuff and it's like fine. I don't know. I'm just not liking his art in this.
That's fair.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we do plugs and wrap up?
No, I think I got everything.
All right. Where can we find you, John?
You can find me on Twitter, JamScott193.
And you can find my puppy at Notorious Rose BG on Instagram and TikTok. And don't forget to follow all this stuff, rate, review, and tell some friends about the shows. And we'll catch you guys next time. Adios.
Bye.
So I guess I'll join the Great Lakes Avengers. They offered me a membership, and so I did, except no, they're a walk into disaster. I find it hard to go to something that cannot be sold, 'cause they're the worst shoes of all time. It's remarkable they ever stop a crime. Sitting poolside with 3 beer and lime, so I guess I'll stick around.